Hello, and welcome to the Accountability Coach podcast, where we discuss proven business success principles related to helping you make more money and work less so you can enjoy having your ideal business and your ideal life. This is Bachrach. Today we have a special guest with us who I know you will find to be a wealth of information related to helping you empower yourself to imagine what is possible, both personally and professionally, so you can create and have the kind of life you truly want. Hilary Decesare is an award-winning business expert, 3 times internationally best-selling author of Relaunch, Spark Your Heart to Ignite Your Life, and founder of the Relaunch Company. This former Silicon Valley CEO is widely recognized for her work in neuropsychology. Hilary's work and insights have been featured on ABC's The Secret Millionaire, as well as NBC, The Huffington Post, Forbes Coaches Council, the Hallmark Channel, Fox, and Yahoo Finance. Well, welcome, Hilary. We really appreciate you joining us.
And we've already had what should have been recorded. That should have been the podcast, what we were just talking about. But I am excited to be here, and let's get started.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I can't wait to do something extra with you that's going to be super special, even on a different topic. It'll be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun. And I love when, things like this turn into collaboration where 2 women that have been in the industry for a very long time come together and want to just completely light up the people that are listening.
Yeah. And let's light them up now, Hilary. You ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. So in your experience, and I know you have a lot of great experience, what are the common challenges faced by successful entrepreneurs when working to achieve their next level? And then how do you suggest we overcome these challenges? I know that's a big question, but I know you can.
Let me break this one down, okay? But really, when you think about what's happening to people right now in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was all about IQ. How intelligent are you? What is your problem solving skills? And then in the 90s, it became all about EQ and how, what is your emotional quotient there? How empathetic are you as a leader? Well, in today's world with everything that has been happening, and as your listeners know, there's so much that's coming at us. We've got, and I call them relaunches, these transitions that are happening, global relaunches. You've got financial issues. You've got things, pandemics. And then you've got business relaunches that are happening where people are trying to figure out, what am I really doing? Is this really going to scale? Is this really going to add a better quality of lifestyle to me, to my family? And so then we tap into the hybrid. We tap into personal, where you've got relaunches happening where empty nesters, you've got people that are moving. We moved, from California after 50 years to Colorado. There's so much coming at us that in order to really understand what can we do in this next wave, in these next few years that are coming at us, where AI, new technologies are making things so massively different. And I came out of the Silicon Valley. I was there for over 10 years at a high-tech company, and I understand tech, and things are still coming at me lightning fast. So as an entrepreneur, and as we're thinking about scaling our businesses, there isn't the ability these days to just say, all right, it's a new normal. It's not. It's actually a new different. Things are massively different these days. And there's an approach that I always like to, and again, as we discussed, it's almost a process I have been doing for over 23 years in the coaching business, and it's called 3HQ. And the HQ is the headquarters of you. And again, when you think about IQ, the 3 H's are head, heart, highest self. Highest self is really the best version of you when you're operating at that great zone. Okay. But when you think about the head in 3HQ, that's all the IQ, right? That's all the processes, steps. And if steps and processes alone worked, everybody would be successful. But we're not all successful. There's things that hold us back. So then we have to move into the heart. and that emotion, that EQ, and understanding the why behind why we're actually doing it. Why do you get up and go into your office in the morning? Why do you want to continue to work with certain people and clients? And what is the feeling that really gets you to want to do what you're doing? And when you put that head and that heart together, and not only are you thinking about it from individual as yourself with your head and your heart, but also your business has a head and a heart. Your business has the steps, the procedures, the thoughts associated with your business. Your business has emotions attached. Oh, I can only do certain things in Q1, Q2. Q4 is always a bust for me. Whatever it is, your business is so tied to the heart and the head, combining those, not having them be in a silo. And so what 3HQ does is it allows almost like an infinity for you to maintain this head heart. So when they're in alignment, it elevates you up to this level I call the highest self, that highest version of you and your business. So in today's world, when we're thinking about how do you scale your business, how do you connect with your business, right? We started this business. Are we still connected? Or does it feel like it's this beast out there that just keeps, rearing its ugly head? What we want to be able to do is tie them all together. And that's where we go into the highest self. And that's really what I believe right now will create success in the future.
So what are some of the common challenges then that we're going to face on our way to really us being elevated to our highest self?
Such a great question, because where 99.9% of us get stuck, and that is a word, we just did a massive research around what is really going on with entrepreneurs these days. Number one is the feeling of being stuck. Then there was overwhelm, underwhelm, but in order to allow for you to get past being stuck, number one, 99.9% of us are caught up in our head. The thoughts associated that are ruminating, that are, I'm pushing past that thought. Okay, I can create a 7-figure company, an 8-figure company. I can have the best year that I've ever had this year. But then there's that limiting belief. I call it a bug, a belief underground surfacing that comes up, that all of a sudden surfaces, and you're going and jamming, and it's like, I'm so motivated, everything's great, and then you hit the wall. People are like, why did I hit the wall? Like everything was going so great. Well, when you think about your thoughts, very head-based in the 3HQ approach, and you think about the emotions attached, which are at the heart-based, the emotion might be underlying. You might have an emotional block, a bug that's like keeping you back that you don't even realize. And so what we have to do is look at it. It might be that, I grew up in a family that, nobody really was ever successful in this area. My dad, he was successful, but then he lost all of his money. Or there were beliefs in our family that you have to work until your eyes bleed, or I got to work hard. And then eventually in the future, when I retire, I can then appreciate what I've done. There's all these beliefs. So you've got head beliefs, those bugs in your head. You've got heart beliefs, the emotional ones. And here's the problem. When you think of your belief system, it's when a thought and an emotion were repeated over time, that creates your belief system. So guess what happens? Your belief system is 100% true for you. It is your reality. So if, let's say, you have a money belief, a limiting money belief, then you've got this belief, a thought and emotion. It's just repeated over time. It is hardwired in your brain. And I've been studying neuroscience for over 10 years. I'm fascinated with this. But how do you then say, okay, well, I really want my company to be successful. I want it to grow. I want it to scale. But I keep like having success and then falling backwards again. What you have to be willing to do is look at the 3HQ model and say, where is it? Where's it coming from? Where did this stem? Because until you get rid of that bug, I call it the belief blaster, you're going to stay exactly where you are, because what your subconscious will always do is keep you safe and familiar, safe with your belief system, safe with, I believe that money is hard to come by. I believe that in order to make money, I got to put in 15-hour days. Well, that's exactly what you're going to do. And as soon as you stop doing, your subconscious is going to say, hey, alert, alert. We got to bring this woman, we got to bring this guy back into the comfort zone, which is where we find ourselves a lot of times feeling stuck. And now it makes sense. It's like, wow, if I stay in my comfort zone, if I'm not growing, if I'm not expanding, and growth is uncomfortable because now you understand what the subconscious is trying to do, pull you back, that's when the challenges occur for entrepreneurs. That's when they can't get ahead. That's when they're like, my God, I had the best year of my life. And then the next year was like just, huh. So what we want to be able to do is look at our business through the eyes of 3HQ, through the eyes of what in the head, what are the thoughts associated with your business? What are the thoughts that you have around business? Then looking at it from the heart. Hey, what's really emotionally, is my business emotionally charging right now, or is it a massive drain? Because once we can get to a point where we're in control, we understand that we actually are, the very few things in life are we in really control of, but we are in control of our thoughts. And so as we get more and more into where the future is taking us, it's going to become massively important to understand how you are in control of your thoughts and your emotions, how you can take out limiting beliefs, creating empowering ones. Because once you do that, then you tap into highest self. Now, I'm not saying we're going to all be Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and stay at highest self, this wonderful high level of energy, right? When you're feeling 100% motivated and I'm going for it and things are happening for you, you're in, I call it the G zone, your great zone, your growth zone, your gratitude zone. But what we can do is tap into our highest self, into that G zone on demand throughout the day, because that's when you create peak performance habits around staying and you becoming your own 3HQ master.
Oh my gosh. I have so many questions just based on what you just said.
I know it's a lot, but I'm like, we only have a certain amount of time and I want people to understand a little bit about this. It's, I came from Oracle, high tech. It was all logic, steps, procedures. Don't even think about the heart. Don't even think about the highest self. Don't even think about, 100 years ago when Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Be Rich. Oh my God, the brain, you can actually control these things. What? No way. Go with process, go with steps. And it's exciting, Anne. It's a new way of doing business.
Oh, Hilary, it's totally exciting. It's mind blowing and I'm really digging it. Absolutely. So when you think about it for a second, for example, one of my clients actually a lot of my clients are wussing out on asking for referrals and introductions from their best clients. And why I don't understand and can't get this philosophy, but they are. So one lady in particular, I said, look, just put your big girl pants on, suck it up, and let's just do this and see what happens. And she went and she talked to her best client and she asked for these introductions and she came back and she said, and I would never in a million years have gotten any referrals or introductions. I got 10. Can you believe it? 10. I can't even believe it. I did this. I mean, what happened? How did that work? I don't know. It was amazing. And the thing is then now it's like, okay, how do you help them replicate that? Because that's not maybe something that their subconscious is used to doing, right? They're going to go back to their comfort zone, right?
100%. What you just said, I love, because you said they're wussing out. And they're wussing out exactly what we talked about, because of the subconscious is, sure, great coaching. Go do it. I'm motivating you. I'm going to hold you accountable. Come back. Once you've done 10, great. They do it. They're like, But the problem is, unless you're there as their coach saying, all right, do it again. She's got a limiting belief somewhere deep inside of her, whether it's in her, in her head or her heart, that is saying, you know what? I'm not good enough to go out there and ask for the referral. Maybe it's, you know what? I don't feel safe when I go in front of new people and I ask for things. Maybe it's like, I don't want to put myself out there to ask and try to be salesy, because I think salespeople are sleazy. Whatever it is, there are so many limiting beliefs. There are so many fears associated with doing things, with going out and actually moving things down the line. So for this woman, she's got a bug. She's got a bug that's deep inside. Now, here is the thing. You have heard so many coaches, people out there that say, you got to build up your motivation. You got to go for it. You got to just make it happen. Just take that first step. But what happens is this: you ultimately can do it for a very short time, but then you will fall back on your belief system. So when you have something that you don't like to do, that, I have people that come to me and they don't even want to, they don't want to look at their books at the end of the month. They're like, I hate financials. I've never been good at math. Limiting belief. So what we have to do is, everyone, you got to realize there is work involved. If you want to be truly successful, like the elite people out there that are hitting that 1%, you got to put the work in. And I got to say that because neuroscience has shown us that it takes 62 to 67 days to rewire our brain with a new empowering belief. But the best part about this is that the limiting belief, I can't do that. What are they going to say about me if I go out there and put myself out to say, hey, can I get a referral? Then it's that limiting belief that when you work through the belief blaster, you actually, on scans, this is the greatest part, after 62 to 67 days, you can see the limiting belief break apart. So that then when you go out there and fantastic Ann is saying, all right, this quarter we're going to get, 25, 50 referrals. You're like, yep, I am. And I'm going to up the ante. I want to get 60. And you're like, who is this? It's because the empowering belief is the only belief now that you have, because the other one, the disempowering, the limiting belief, the bug has been blasted. But here's the thing. A lot of people are like, that seems like a really long time. And I say, well, okay, let's say you're 50 years old. Let's say that limiting belief came to you through thoughts and emotions repeated over time when you were 5. That's 45 years you've been hanging on to that limiting belief. Is 62 to 67 days not worth your time? But there's still people that are like, Hilary, I need a quick fix. I need the silver bullet. I want to be able to just get it on the fly. Like, I'm going into this big meeting. I'm going into this, meeting with this person. I want to ask for a referral. I'm getting on a Zoom call. And so I came up with a system, and I came up with it about, probably now 10 years ago. And it's called the tune-in process. And it's 3HQ, but it's the on demand. Like, isn't life right now on demand? I want it now. It's the now on demand process for 3HQ. And Ann, if you are game, I would love to take you through 4 simple steps.
Right now?
Right now, it's your game. It's so easy. And I want people to realize how simple it is.
Okay. Is this part of the belief blaster, or is this a totally different?
It's a part of the belief blaster, but it's called tune in. And tuning in allows you to have just a quick, I need it today, instead of going through the 62 to 67 days. That comes when you start to really, I am now tired of having this. I'm aware of it and I want to actually blast it. But this is the tune in you can do all day long. And I do it 20 to 25 times a day. All right. So Tune in. It's called the Tune In Power Tool, and it is 3HQ, and it's just instantaneous. And what it does is it gets you into a different state. It elevates your energy. Albert Einstein said you can't solve a problem at the level it was created. What does that really mean? It means that when we have challenges in life, when we're trying to do something, when we're feeling stuck, we can't be solving for, hey, I want to put my business plan together for next year. I want to put my financial model. If you're doing that at a low energetic level, that's what you're going to get, because energy attracts energy. And there's a vibration to emotion. So if you're like, I don't really want to do my year-end plan. I don't really want to do my financial analysis. I don't want to go out there and get any referrals. Then that energy is going to go out there and it's going to become harder and harder for you to do after the first time. You might have the motivation to do it that one time, but then you're like, even though you know the results are great. So step one in the tune-in process is head-based. What is the biggest challenge that you have right now, Anne? It could be business or it can be personal. Tune in works for both. What's your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge is converting people who come to my website to understanding the value of the products and services I have to invest.
Oh, beautiful. That is perfect, because you can see how this could work for everything. So converting people that come to your website. Okay. So what I want you to think is, now you've got your challenge. Step one, it's all head-based because it's a challenge, right? Low vibrational energy. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? We want to elevate you to highest self. Highest self is where your energy is at a high vibration, because when you're at a challenge, when you're feeling stuck, it's a low vibration, which means that when you go for trying to figure out and solve a solution around connecting people that come to your website at a low vibrational level, you're going to get low vibrational solutions. So what we want to do is bring you up. Step two is getting you into highest self. And the way I do it is change your channel. And the way you change your channel vibrationally is you think of a power song that when you hear it, it lights you up. You can't be low vibrational energy when you hear the song. So what would be a song, and that when you hear it, it lights you up?
Well, there's a lot of them, but let's go with an old one. Diddy. Okay. D-I-T-T-Y. Diddy.
Okay. Diddy. So I want you to think of Diddy. I want you to play it in your head. And here's the best part. If we weren't on the show, you could play it out loud in your office. And I want you to move your body to it as you hear the song go from your head to your toes. You're changing your state. But neuroscience says you got to do it for at least 20 seconds to really absorb the energy around the song. So I can't see you, but I want you to just move your body all the way to your toes. You're hearing Diddy. You are elevating your energy. We're doing it for 20 seconds. Now we go into step 3. And step 3 is the heart step. And that's where we are going to emotionally charge what you really want to have happen from step 1. Not the challenge, but what would you really want? You'd want people to come and, oh my gosh, they're resonating with your message. They're converting. It is like unheard of what you're getting right now. Everybody's flooding to your site. And I want you to envision you. It could be like looking at your metrics, looking at your key performance indicators, and you're seeing all this and you're like, wow, you're energetically charging up this mini movie. It's a mini movie of you having the most amount of success. Now, there's a color that you're wearing. Again, I'm charging up different areas of your brain right now. What color do you see yourself? Again, bring Diddy, the song, back in, tune back into that. What color do you see yourself wearing, or that's out like you're looking at?
I would say that's a cobalt blue.
Ooh, one of my favorites. So you're going to intensify that cobalt blue. You're going to intensify the emotion around the entire experience of having what you want. And then the last part of this step 3, there's 3 steps to this number 3. First step was like you are going and you're creating this mini movie of success, Step 2 in the 3 parts is now I'm going to intensify a color and an emotion around that. And now the third one is you're going to anchor it. You're going to anchor it into your brain with a picture, an internal picture. Greatest part is that your eyes are going to open and close when I say click, like an internal camera taking 3 pictures. Click, click, click. You now have an awesome photo album. Pick one picture to put on the top of the photo album that you absolutely love. Is it 1, 2, or 3? Which picture did you love?
2.
Okay, 2. Now we're going to go into step 4, the final step. And in this step, we're going back to the head. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a micro action. Success likes speed. Your brain likes speed. We think, oh, things have to happen slowly. They don't. Micro step. So I want you to tune back into Diddy, hear it, and now thinking about that image that you just created, what would be one micro step that you could do right after we get off this show? Something so small, but you know what? That would make an impact. What would that be? What would it be that you would have to do, a micro action, to get to that point where you are getting flooded in with all of these people wanting to convert when they get to your website?
What I see is more pictures of people with more energy.
Okay. So if you're seeing that, what small micro action could you do to have people get to be at a level with higher energy?
Put more of those pictures with energy on the website.
Excellent. So what I want you to do as your micro action is I want you to find a picture. Just find one picture. It doesn't have to be the ultimate picture but something, go on to Pinterest, go on to the web, go on to Canva, pick a picture. And then now you are one step closer to that image. Now what if? So those are the 4 steps. Step 1, what's the challenge? Step 2, where you actually tune in, change the channel with your power song, 20 seconds. Step 3 is where you create that mini movie. You energize it with the color, with the emotion. And then what you do is you take that internal picture, anchoring it with click. And then step 4 is the micro action. And so imagine you don't just do this once a day. This becomes your peak performance habit, and you do it 3 times a day. 3 times a day with the same song. And where would you be after 5 days? You would have done 15 micro actions. That's why people become super successful. We get bogged down with the big, how am I ever going to get to that big goal? But when you start to do this, imagine after 30 days. This is how you get also that quick energy on demand. So no matter if you just had a bad call with somebody and you got to go on to a coaching call, you've got to go onto a show, you've got to do something, you tune in, you say, what's the challenge right now that I'm going in for this? You gain such clarity. Maybe it's an intention, not just a challenge. Maybe it's an intention. I want to resonate with somebody out there that's listening to Anne's show. That was my intention before I jumped on. I immediately thought of my power song, This Girl Is on Fire. And then I went into, I see myself like just with you on this show, lighting it up. I'm in this intensive yellow dress. And then the last thing is I come on at a high level of energy. Let's do this, as you said. Let's go for it. So that's an example, but what I wanted to let you know is no matter what you're doing, if you're going live on social, if you're creating something that you're not that into, if you create it when you're not that into it, that's what's going to resonate with the people out there watching it, seeing it, reading it. So you got to elevate yourself. So again, you could literally put tune in into your calendar. It takes less than 2 minutes. It's charged with neuroscience. It's charged with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It's charged with psychology. It's charged with business sense. And that's where the tune in power tool becomes literally the peak performance habit.
That's awesome. And I mean, words are even hard for me to say after all this. It's so great. So when you talk about the G zone, now where's the G zone in this?
The G zone is the highest self. And in the G zone, there are three major areas that I dive into. It's the area of your energy, right? Because when you're in your highest self area, you are at a high vibrational level, right? When you're like on fire, right? When you're like, oh, I'm so on fire right now, you feel like you're, queen of the mountain. You've gone and ascended, Mount Everest. You're just like, woo. But the problem for most of us is that it's hard to sustain that. It actually gets really hard to be like, oh, I'm so on fire. So this allows you to pop back into it. So the G zone is in this whole idea around energy is first. Then there's the G zone, and the G zone is your growth zone. It's your gratitude zone and your great zone. It's where you're doing what you should be doing. It's where, when you think about it, when you look at your business and you think, okay, what am I doing to help my business grow? The real question is, what are you doing to help you grow? And that's G zone. It's working on you as well, because you are a direct reflection of your business. So then you've got the gratitude. And when you start to think about real gratitude, a lot of times we forget about the people that have contributed to where we are. And so not only saying, God, I'm grateful for this, but it's like, hey, I'm grateful for this person helping me along the way. Because the more you can connect to the like energy people out there, not like-minded, because like-minded is limiting, but like energy, it allows you to fuel more people coming in that are going to continue to push you to be better, to be like, keep going with your own personal growth. And that also helps your business. So the G zone. And the last place in highest self that I do want to mention is the purpose section. A lot of people, especially these days, are feeling like their purpose is a little muddied, a little, I'm really not sure. And so I've never seen more in today's world than people saying and coming to me and saying, Hilary, I need to relaunch. Like, I don't know if I need to just throw my whole business out, or can I do certain parts of it? Maybe just changing a little of it, relaunching just a portion. A relaunch is not a complete throw out of everything. It's your launch pad to where you're going, to the next part of your journey.
Boy, I really love what you said, because I had never thought of it this way before. You don't want to be with like-minded people because that's limiting. You want to be with like energy people.
Absolutely. Well, we got on our call when we first, before we even hit play and record, there was an energy between us. And when you walk into a room and it's like low vibrational energy, you're like, rah, rah. You're like, oh, I want to turn around and get the heck out of here. But you also know when you are with toxic people that bring you way down, right? You don't like how you feel. When you're talking about things that like, this just makes me feel low vibrational energy, versus when you and I got on, all of a sudden we're like, yeah, let's do this. So let's do that. That's energy between us. And what's great, and if we have just a couple seconds, I just want to say one more thing. There was a great study done in the idea around mirroring, around if you and I get together, how our energy, like tuning forks, come together. And it involved monkeys. And when one monkey cracked open a peanut, and they had probes on the brain monitoring this, there was another monkey watching that didn't have a peanut. But guess what happened? When the monkey cracked that peanut open, the other monkey's brain lit up in the same areas of, oh my God, I'm about to eat this thing. I'm so excited. So you actually have the ability with your own internal system. You have mirror neurons that when you come in, you can change the outcome. You can change the energy that's in a room just by how you're thinking, reacting, and feeling.
So true, so true. because you have so much great content and experience, how would somebody learn a little bit more about what you do so they can relaunch?
I would suggest I gave you the 4 steps. Let's just get you to be really a master at the tune-in process. So you can go to tuneinpowertool.com, and get a free PDF, and it's got a little video attached to really understand. And there's more neuroscience in there. There's the history of where it came from, which is a really cool story about my daughter, which I'm sure most people who have kids or grandkids or any type of, niece, nephew, you'll be like, oh my God, this is so true. And you can go to tuneinpowertool.com and start the journey.
Well, I super appreciate your very valuable time with us. And boy, I think we could talk for hours, don't you?
I agree. That's why I'm like, we are absolutely making what we talk about happen.
All right. Sounds good to me. Thanks again, Hilary. I so appreciate you.
And thank you.
Wow. After investing your valuable time with Hilary and me, I sure hope that you gain some insight and ideas that will propel you to greater heights in every facet of your life. Share the wisdom by passing on my Accountability Coach podcast to help ignite others, which can be found on most podcast platforms and in most English-speaking countries. And subscribe to the Accountability Minute for daily guidance on proven business success principles, which can also be found on most podcast platforms and in most English-speaking countries, and of course at accountabilitycoach.com. And I salute you for your hunger for more, your drive for wanting to be even better, and your unyielding commitment to becoming the architect of your destiny. Want more proven business success resources and tips? Well, of course you do. Subscribe to my blog by going to accountabilitycoach.com/blog, and always aim for what you want each and every single day. Until next time, make it a great day, today and every day. I appreciate you listening.